The challenge of the whole entire festival is like,
Whoa.
Holy shit.
Fucking yeet. Scopes aesthetic.
That's just like podcast episode number, blah, 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 slate.
well, maybe a 2020 thing.
You can do the slate and just like throw it at
You
the
can buy
camera.
it for like $16.
If you're gonna talk, speak into the mic so I can use it as content.
All right. You
right.
can buy slates for like $16. We should get one for the podcast.
Okay.
We should also get the. Remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
The news broadcaster.
Yeah.
Foamies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that'd be sick.
And just slap
Yeah.
Like the
stickers on them.
WWE.
Yeah.
Some scope stickers on them.
You listen to me, brother.
Okay. Welcome. This is the Scoped podcast with the Scoped crew.
Take two.
Take two.
Take two.
Because there's a lot of moving parts here, and we got the whole team. We're FaceTiming in Matt from Kelowna. So going at it with a second round. So hopefully things go better this time. But essentially, this podcast, whether you're watching the video version or the audio, probably watching the video is better. But what we're going to be doing is looking back at some of the sets that we produced and highlighting some of our favorites, giving a little bit of the behind the scenes, maybe why they are our favorites or why they stand out to us. But before we do that, I just want to do a proper team introduction because it's been a while. And we'll start at the end of the table with Mr. Chops himself.
Hi, I'm Jordan. I lamb chops on Instagram. And I do plug myself at the beginning of the episode.
Follow for follow.
And yeah, I do video editing. Been with Scope for like a year. Just kind of joined. Never got an announcement or anything like that, but
Just kind of like showed up one day, kind of like a stray dog.
yeah, I just kind of started showing up and they let me in.
Yeah.
Oh, this is good.
Put out food and
Jordan approached me and kind of didn't let it go. Like, he really wanted to be a part of it. And when I finally was like, okay, I'm going to give you a show to shoot, and realized that he had the interest, he had the drive. And he's been a huge part, especially this year, as far as helping with multicam shooting, helping with multicam editing, helping with the podcast. Crushing it. So
I like that you say that like I wouldn't let it go, and I talked to you twice about it
well, I don't know. Sometimes
over the course of 4 months.
usually it's like one person hits me up and they're like, "Yo, we would love to do something," and then they
couldn't take no for an
disappear.
answer.
So
If you talk to Spencer twice, you'll get in.
yeah, well, don't say that out loud.
He's an easy date.
But yeah, super happy you're here, and let's continue down the table.
I'm Liam, so I handle the multi-track audio for a lot of the videos. So a lot of the sets from Wild Rose, the Scope 2 year, some other shows in there like the Evan Coleshaw Memorial Show with Inclination. Been doing audio for about 8 years and been doing the stuff with Scope for about a little over a year.
Yeah, it was Wild Rose 2018 was kind of like the inaugural,
Yeah.
like bringing you in, and
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of the sets that we're going to be checking out today. A fair number of them have your footprint or your fingerprint as far as the audio side goes. So,
Perfect. Thanks, everyone.
yeah, super excited to check those out.
Hello, my name's Cole. I take photos in the Calgary hardcore scene and the metal scenes. Been taking photos and all that kind of jazz for a few years now. Kind of just been doing that, and yeah, just with Scoped as well. So
Yeah, Cole's an OG member, if that hasn't been stated enough. And a lot of Cole's photos are used for our thumbnails and releases for when we debut stuff. And I definitely feel the absence of Cole's work for shows that either I'm doing solo at and have to rely on screenshots.
yeah, that sucks.
Actually, as far as some recent releases have gone, I've taken screenshots and I've mimicked your editing style just like through Lightroom.
Yeah.
And I think that's resonated with people. Like I see them do better on our Instagram just because it's like, oh, this kind of looks like Cole's photos, but obviously not throwing the tag to show that it's yours. But
Right.
you've definitely
Close enough.
Yeah, you've definitely set a standard as far as the style as far as our releases go. So yeah, very instrumental person as well.
Thank you.
And then as far as me, I'm Spencer, Spicy Spence. We're just having some audio stuff. So, we're back. Oh yeah, whatever. We're just rolling with it. So yeah, I'm kind of the brainchild behind Scoped. Really couldn't do it with a lot of the guys who are sitting in front of me, but also Matt is a vital member as well. And I think that as far as what I do, I handle a lot of the organization, planning, distribution. Essentially, every Scoped post on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube is done through my fingers. So, I do a lot of things and do a lot of the branding work, but no one really cares about that. I'm just kind of droning on about what I do. So,
No, we care. I was just checking the audio.
We all care.
yeah.
Skyping in from space, Alien Matt.
Yeah, Alien Matt, how about you give a little intro?
Well, my name's Alien Matt. I'm from Kelowna, BC. I've been with Scope ever since. I'm one of the 3 founding fathers of Scoped Exposure.
The founding daddies.
Yeah, I've been shooting shows ever since 2015, and I'm just the videographer and the unannounced web developer for the website that's coming out in the future, and yeah.
Yeah, and we haven't really done like an about Scoped or like a history, but essentially I had this idea for having a multi-creative scope, not scoped entity, but an entity that would release and document Western Canada hardcore across the 4 provinces. So, I was living in Winnipeg at the time. I hit up Matt in Kelowna because I know that he was already doing that for BC. And then I hit up Cole because he was doing a lot of the photo stuff. And the Calgary Hardcore Fest, even though it's changed names over the years, that was kind of like our meeting place as far as like, okay, we're all going to be here and we're all going to collaborate together. That's obviously changed over the years as I've moved here. We've added new members with different skills and, scenes as far as activity-wise have increased and maybe decreased. So that's a little history lesson if anyone gives a fuck about it. But that's not...
I care.
We'll do a documentary series.
Yeah. We'll get like some BBC money and yeah. But obviously that's not the point of this podcast. The point of this podcast is we're going to be diving into some of the sets that we produced this year. Talk about just our what went into producing those. What were some of the memories during those shows and those sets, and maybe some behind the scenes that you might not see as far as the production goes. So we're actually going to start again at the end of the table with Jordan, and we have all the tabs pulled up here. So maybe can you tell me, Jordan, about what your pick is and kind of give it a little bit of an intro?
All right, so there's a couple picks that I had. The one I'm going to go with is the Stepping Stone set from Snow and Flurry. It was toss-up between a couple other ones, also which were Stepping Stone from different shows. We filmed them, we put them on the channel 4 times this year, I think. Evan, Wild Rose, Sloth, and
there's
this.
actually...
Snow and Flurry.
Yeah, I think that Sloth set I have yet to put out because we had some technical issues. But it might be out before this is out anyways. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my set because it was, well, first off, one of my favorite bands.
Yeah, they're so good.
Really fun to edit. I know most of what's going to happen in a set. It's just like easy flow for editing, easy to film because like I know it's gonna happen. There's always cool moments, good moshing,
High energy.
high energy. Luke does really cool things and little funky dances and stuff while he's between vocals. And yeah, it was like nice to see, since we're in Minneapolis, there's like all these like crazy bands and all these new bands we haven't seen. It was nice to see just like a familiar face.
Yeah,
It's,
it
far
was
from
cool
home.
cool to see like as far as people who were there, like 3 out of the 4, like Liam was the only one who wasn't there, but yeah, it was like cool to see people that, like, I remember the very first time I filmed Stepping Stone, it was like to maybe like 30 people and like 2 people were moshing, but to see the growth of that band and just how much they've like dominated this multi-province scene is like insane.
Truly, truly impressive. Like,
Yeah.
So solid.
Yeah, so we have the set queued up here, so we're gonna just like watch like the first few minutes of it, maybe comment on it. If there was a specific moment you want to cut to, Jordan, just let me know. Luke's
Yeah.
like one of the best like front person.
No one's gonna say anything. We're just gonna get caught up.
No.
Yeah. No, like one thing I love about this band is, of course, like Luke's stage presence, but also Nathan's. You know, they're equally involved.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And
A perfect like
You know.
yin and yang kind of thing.
Ross is
there's
just a great
there's kind of
drummer.
like a big thing now with bands where they very often like just kind of they're focused on playing and they're not, you know, they don't want to fuck up because they're getting into it or whatever. But they're not like very active on stage. And for like an explosive, like aggressive style of music, you kind of need to have that performance aspect too. And these guys got it.
Yeah.
I do love, especially with like this song. I didn't get to do it here, but I love it when like the main vocalist and the secondary vocalist like alternate who's singing.
Yeah. On that like pre-chorus
Yeah,
kind of part.
And
yeah.
a lot of the times you can tell if I'm editing a set and it has it because I like to cut between camera angles of each person. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great example
Yeah,
of
right
what you're
there.
just talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably a lot harder for people who are listening to this versus watching. So you should be watching this podcast
Yeah.
episode.
And then
Creepy
just like
crawlies.
Yeah.
the insane things that they did in Minneapolis, just like the creeping, people just like crawling around on the floor.
A lot of that, like a lot of like kind of grabbing the
Just like that.
Yeah. To be honest, when I first heard Soul Division, I didn't like it my first listen. I was like, I don't know. But then the more I listened to it, I was like, okay, I kind of understand what these guys are doing with the new material. But then when I saw it live, it like clicked for me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And just like, yeah, having a band that like
We're all familiar
I've
with.
seen Stepping Stone like 9 times or something like that.
Yeah, it's-
like a lot.
Probably double digits for me.
And being in such like a different place, like I mentioned, and seeing something familiar, and these people that I have no idea who anyone in this crowd is, and seeing them go off is really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Stepping Stones played this fest a few times over. I think
Yeah,
this
they played
it's either
last
their
year.
third or fourth time. Were you gonna say something, Matt?
I was just gonna say they played last year for the first time.
Yeah, last
their
year for
first time
sure.
was
Yeah,
last
yeah.
year.
Yeah. It's one of those bands that it's like every time I see them, I haven't seen them like as many times as Jordan has, but every time you see them, they just get better and better and tighter and
Yeah.
tighter. And, you know, they just, you can tell that they really want to get somewhere with it.
Definitely also just like the fact, like I've always loved when bands come like with from a non-popular part of the country or wherever. Like
Yeah.
Regina was never known for having like good bands, but then when they started really like making waves, it was super cool for them to represent it you know, like Queen City hardcore, if you will.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, I just appreciate bands more when it's like, oh, you're from this tiny little
Yeah,
pocket. The ground pound.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some other Sass bands. Just between like Saskatoon and Regina, Castaway were really good. Old
Yeah.
Problems.
Yeah.
But yeah, these guys are definitely kind of like the all-stars. So
Hold Fast was a band that was around for a bit when I was getting into the hardcore scene. It was like the singer of Means' brother fronted that band.
It's not that I don't want to watch the set, but should we stop after this song so we don't?
Oh
just
yeah,
watch?
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
We just get carried away.
We could probably like do a couple tracks and then move
We just
along.
end up watching the whole set.
Have you watched this set yet, Liam?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, between like spending the time on like the mixes and whatnot, sometimes most of the sets kind of sweep
Yeah.
right by me.
Yeah, there's at some point in one of these bands, someone's stage dive conveniently just happened, and
What was that?
they knocked me off of my perch on the other side. 'Cause
Okay.
Me and Spencer for these are just like standing on the back of barricades,
Yeah.
and someone stage flips and knocks me off, and then my camera like Spencer kept it where my camera just like goes to the ground because I fell off. I think that happened twice.
Yeah.
But yeah, to your point, like I'm so busy like cutting sets and working and stuff like that that I haven't watched any of his cuts. So I mentioned it to him. He's like, "Yeah, I put it up. Didn't you see it?" And I was like, "No."
Wow, no one watches our own
Sometimes-
videos.
Sometimes, yeah, like kind of a lot of those whip pans or like the one where the guy's foot goes into the camera during which band was it?
I can't remember. Oh wait, it was was
From
low.
Snow and Flurry.
it low end?
Oh, it could be low end.
Like
I
the guy came
remember
off the stage and
like this set never and might never come out due to the band's or past or present members' request. But when Sedition played Wild Rose this year, I like full on got like cartwheeled off the stage, and you can see me from Jordan's angle, Cody DeWall just grabbing my shirt and pulling me back, and I'm like,
saving the day. Yeah.
yeah,
Thanks, Cody.
yeah, yeah. I'm curious if that set will ever come out, but we won't dwell on that as much.
Let us know.
Yeah. So the very next one, Act Fast.
Hell yeah.
This is
Oh,
Liam's
Act
pick.
Fast was.
Act Fast. Yeah. Great set.
So Liam, tell me a little bit about like what went into the, you know, I want to do a separate podcast just talking to you about like the mixing process, but maybe talk about this one specifically if there was any certain things. And I know this set specifically probably meant a lot to you being like a Calgary local, you know, going up to
Yeah.
original Act Fest shows before they originally broke up.
Yeah, well, like on the podcast episode that you did with Cole Young, discussing like the bands he's been in, of course, he was in Act Fest. No, this was a really cool set. They haven't played in like well over 10 years. I think it had been like 11 years since their last show. And they did a really good job. They pulled it together really quick. They got Bryce from Trench to come and play guitar as well. And yeah, I'm pretty sure like it was all the original lineup. But yeah, no, it was a really good set. I mean, of course, they hadn't played these songs in like, you know, a little over a decade. But it was a great set. It was a lot of fun. Everybody enjoyed it, and you know, they did it for kind of a good cause, like just kind of like a send off to Evan.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was really good. Might have stuff like pop up that I want to mention, like as we're watching.
Oh
it,
yeah,
but
yeah,
we'll-
yeah. Yeah, let's just jump
we'll do
into
it.
it.
It's definitely a set where I like got the mix sorted in the first couple songs, and then I said fuck it and went up front to like sing
Yeah.
along and like pick.
Yeah, we were
'cause
joking before we were recording, like,
It was good
oh,
shit.
Liam just picked this one because he's actually in the video. Right up
Doing
front,
some vocal parts.
grabbing the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool to see this band, even though like I've never seen them before. Just an awesome energy.
Honestly, this whole intro was like, sometimes it's a hit or miss whether it makes the final video or not.
Yeah.
I've definitely like cut out stuff if like it just feels awkward. But this just felt like so perfect.
Yeah.
Very Albertan, if anything.
I definitely.
Straight Berta.
I think for this set I made a point of like shoving the stage monitors further off to the side because I knew it would get a little hectic
Little
up front.
buck.
So little buck. Didn't want anybody to get yeeted into a fucking monitor.
Yeah.
This was one
This
of
is a
the
long
only
intro.
sets that I didn't have a drum cam for, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's just like immediately.
These guys were great too, just because like at the time in Calgary, you didn't have many like just hardcore bands, kind of like this.
Yeah.
You know, there was like a lot of metalcore bands, and that was great. But at the time, they were like one of the standouts. And I don't know, like everybody from like every kind of scene would come to their shows. They would play like all sorts of bills. To be so stuck up.
This is such a dummy riff.
It's so true.
Good.
It's funny too, like hearing the generational, like how people were writing riffs back then. Like, I don't feel like anyone would write a riff like that normally
Not
in this
really.
day and age.
Like this one was the intro on the EP, I think, and yeah, no, it was just like a good opener to the whole thing.
Yeah. But it's also like the level of patience
Yeah.
of like, oh, I'm gonna sit through this, like, you know, nowadays it's like a song is a minute versus an entire intro.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I didn't really have any issues with this set. I think maybe like I had gotten something funky like with the bass signal, and I had to do a bunch of fixes on that, but like otherwise mics are all in the right spot. I think maybe just like the DI or the bass mic that I had set up
Yeah.
came loose, like the cable came loose or something.
Yeah. After this song, let's go to the end, because the ending is like
Where-
the
yeah,
ultimate
where-
like climax.
Where it really pops off. This is definitely one of my favorite sets that I've mixed because it has a good live feel to it. Like there's some sets, you know, maybe an extreme example would be like the All Out War set where we didn't have the live, like the audio from the room. It was
Yeah.
just the direct recordings. And it just makes it feel like a lot more kind of claustrophobic almost.
Yeah.
Like watching this, you can, you know, get more involved with watching it.
There you
There I
are.
am.
Yeah.
I almost wore that shirt today too.
Oh,
But yeah, no, like just trying like with the mixing stage, and this was a really easy one, is you don't need it to be that clean. It's like a hype set, gives you a little bit more room to, I don't know, like not have a messier mix, but let it bleed a little more.
For sure.
And stylistically it
Yeah, yeah.
works. Yeah.
I was surprised that so many people were clapping in that part there.
Yeah, that was like a thing that I don't know. It happened during one of their sets, and
Stuck with
stuck.
it just stuck.
Yeah. Also, a lot of like faces that I like. I have no idea who you are,
Yeah.
or you. I haven't seen you at shows.
Oh yeah, there's some people.
Some oldies, yeah.
there was definitely some people at that show that I hadn't seen in years, like maybe since the last ACFast show.
Yeah.
Damn.
So so we're gonna just jump to the end here.
Yeah.
I think that's about the right spot.
Yep. This was like kind of the big track, so. Yeah. And actually, their last show, it was also at the Legion.
Yeah.
I'll have to see if I can find some photos that we could like edit in for this, but
Yeah.
same stage, you know, except pretty much the entire stage was people up there like singing along.
If I remember,
Pretty sure you can see Sheldon on top of everybody in that photo too. So
yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I edited this one or if Jordan did, but for a lot of these sections, it was just like long held shots of the wide because it was just so like you didn't need to cut to make it chaotic.
yeah, there was just so much going on, a lot to choose from.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of these sets where there's so many chaotic moments like that, cutting fast, just like you lose a lot of those moments.
Yeah, it pulls it back.
Dummy riffs inbound.
I love seeing stuff like that where the moshing lines up perfectly with the music.
Yeah.
Just feels like more impactful on the video side. Liam's just smushed. I understand why. And I will not.
Yeah, they were just like such a solid band. Every
Yeah.
song was like
Do you
super
wanna-
catchy and
I was
memorable.
gonna say, do you want to scroll down? You can see who edited it.
Oh, shoot.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, no, when I first moved to Calgary, I remember when Evan was still alive, I went for coffee with him, and he was showing me photos from that last ACFest show.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like a band that I never thought I could ever like film, let alone get on the channel or see. So it felt very special. And yeah, that for sure is a no-brainer as far as one of my favorite top 5 sets.
Yeah. Easily.
Cool. You're up.
So my favorite set that we filmed this year was probably when we went out to Snow and Flurry and War Prayer played. I think they're from Minneapolis. Or
Yeah. Yeah, they say at the beginning, like, the band started in Fargo, and then they kind of, like, most of the members are now from Minneapolis.
Right.
Yeah, I think they're, like, a Minneapolis band, considering.
Yeah, it was super cool to see them just because they were such a big band for that kind of scene, and coincidentally, it was their last show that we filmed, so it just every person was going off, and it was just really hectic, and definitely one of my favorites from that fest, and definitely probably one of the best that we filmed this year, I think. So.
I'm curious if anyone in the table here, or even Matt, had actually listened to War Prayer prior.
I've never even heard of them.
Had a split with Sweet
No.
Oh,
That's right. Yeah. I have never checked them out.
I don't think I actually listened to the War. Like, I'll be completely honest. Like, I don't think I listened to the War Prayer side of that.
I listened to it, but I didn't realize it was War Prayer.
Oh,
I
see.
listened to the entire split, and then, like, I didn't even fully, because I was so in the moment filming, I didn't realize or recognize the songs.
Right.
I was just filming on instinct, not on knowing the songs. And then I think it was the flight back. My one playlist with all hardcore music has a lot of the Swing Low songs from that set, from that split on it. And then I was looking at the cover art just because I'm on the plane with no Wi-Fi and I'm bored and you two were passed out. And I noticed that it was like Swing Low and War Prayer. And I was like, oh shit, wait, what? And then I once we landed, I went and like fully checked it out.
Yeah.
And Alex plays drums in both those bands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's how it was intro to me. It was like I met him when he was here with Swing Low for the fest in 2019, and then we were chatting, and he was like such a sweetheart kind of guy.
Oh, he's the coolest dude.
So when it was like, I was talking with Jesse from Swing Low as far as like getting scope to film it, and then when it was announced, Alex hit me up. He was like, "I'm so happy that you're capturing like the War Prayer last set." I was like, "Oh, I had no idea," and I couldn't even imagine. Like, this is probably one of the crazy sets we've ever put on the channel.
I think it's like top 3 craziest sets I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, I've been to Rainfest a couple of times. I've been to a few fests, like metal fest, but as for like a hardcore fest, this is like the most people just going off, just the hardest moshing, people just absolutely killing each other. Like,
Yeah.
definitely one of the best sets.
Jordan, talk for a bit so we can fill this space.
So yeah, that War Prayer set, because like I don't even know what to say about that. I had like, I don't want to say no expectations because they were one of the headliners.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. I knew Alex was in the band after they, like, once I figured it out. But yeah, just a crazy cool band. I wish they weren't done.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't even know it was their last set until like halfway through.
Yeah.
Or like,
And then the
they did the
confetti came
intro and I like didn't fully catch it, and then like they're going so hard, and then like near like 2/3 in, people start popping like
confetti bomb
cannons.
things, yeah.
And you're
And I was
like,
like-
whose birthday is it? Or, oh, this is the last.
Well, no, I wasn't even birthday. I was just like, I think this is like, is this their last show? This really sucks if this is the last show. And then they start talking about like
Thanking everyone
memories of
and-
the band,
yeah.
and like stuff like that, and getting emotional. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is their last show. And especially like, we're gonna watch the set, but like the end when they actually, I watched this set like
I've watched this
2
one.
days ago.
Yeah. Matt, I think you were trying
Yeah.
to say something, but I think you were too quiet. So I think I fixed it. So.
Okay, let's try this again.
Okay, yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Prior to Snow and Flurry and watching this set on their channel, I hadn't heard of them, which I'm surprised because I've listened to Swing Low on Spotify a couple of times, and then definitely after the set, I started listening to them more, and watching this set was definitely one of my top 5 for new bands that we captured onto the channel.
Yeah, like I looked at a lot of, like I checked out a lot of their music, and they had done a couple music videos even. And I was like, man, like what was I
Oh, really?
sleeping on?
Yeah, we
so,
were sleeping.
Yeah, because I always try to make it a practice to not check out sets and stuff prior to have that true like.
I do the
organic-
same.
But then I was like,
Experience,
well,
yeah.
I kind of, I don't
You
know.
fucked up,
You
bud.
fucked up. Yeah, so without further ado, let's just jump into the set. I think we should watch the part of the beginning and then jump to the end, because the end is when it gets like full tilt.
Real hectic.
Fargo, yeah.
It was funny when we put this set out because Tyler from Plead hit me up and he was like, I was so worried because they have like a very similar logo, like just
Oh, with the
yeah.
knife.
with that font and then the knife. I'm like, it's okay, they broke up. You guys can keep it.
Classic Old English font.
Yeah.
I mean, if bands started getting upset at each other for using Old English font, I think hardcore in general would be in trouble.
Yeah.
That's so true.
True. You will never be one of us. This venue is also just like super awesome for this kind of music. Just a lower, kind of smaller stage, but just enough space where everyone can jump on and flip off if they need to, and lots of room for everyone to jump around.
Yeah.
Can't remember which set it was, but one of the bands was like, "This stage is perfect stage diving stage. Get the fuck up here."
Yeah.
It really is.
Which I think it was low end.
Yeah. He was like,
Where my mosh is at?
this set was also, I think, like I kind of like the audio for the second day of Snow and Flurry. There was like we were getting some direct signal, and a little bit it was like clipping. So as the sets progressed, the audio got better, but I was like, I need to just get this out. Looking back, I was like, I kind of wish I spent a little bit more time to make it.
Yeah,
little bit
because
better.
we had a conversation for like a while about like what to do.
Yeah, the audio is really strange. I definitely noticed when you posted this teaser that I could hear the kick, causing either the recording to like limit, like the limit in the H6 to like pick up and grab it, or like maybe that the guy that was mixing the show had like done some ducking so that it's like the kick like comes through over top everything
Yeah.
else.
I think it's also it itself clips a little bit. I like set it, and then I like left it, and then going back, I think he like
I love. Sorry,
does it as well.
I love how
That's
he
fine.
was like 2-step, and then he was like the 2-step comes in there.
Yeah.
But originally he was like, oh no, not yet. Also, shout out to Derek for his like stage diving. He's
Yeah,
like
that
one
guy-
of the festival promoters.
Oh, sick. And yeah, vocals clipping like a motherfucker.
Noah.
Just everyone kills each other. It's pretty
Yeah.
sweet.
Is that guy wearing gloves?
Yeah, there's like several people wearing moshing gloves. It's pretty sick.
Moshing gloves.
Oh,
They have,
yeah.
like the carbon fiber knuckles.
yeah
Like, I'm not even kidding. They're like straight
like
up
police
like
officer gloves.
yeah, they're like
Far-
militia gloves.
far back of the room. That guy Noah was like selling old T-shirts and like records and stuff like that. And I bought a T-shirt. He's like, "Yo, you want to buy some moshing gloves?" And I was like, "I don't really need them, so I'm good." But
said that to you.
yeah,
I think it's pretty good that they're selling moshing gloves in Minnesota at a festival called Snow and Flurry.
Yeah.
It's a little chilly in there, maybe. I don't know.
It was like weather-wise, it wasn't too bad actually.
Yeah.
It was a little cold, but yeah, a little snowy, but
Might have actually been colder in Calgary.
I think it was.
Yeah, it was
While you
definitely-
Yeah, it
guys were
was.
out,
it was snowing
at
a lot.
this, I went to Baptist in Calgary, and I remember it being pretty chilly. So
Pretty chilly, eh?
yeah. There's actual snow in Calgary.
yeah. I mean, not now.
This is definitely a set that we could do a full like commentary of, because yeah, there's a lot of moments like where they like brought original members on stage,
Sick.
and just like I love like just like the heartfelt speeches in between sets.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's so important. Kyle.
Yeah, that Kyle
He's
guy's so
also
sick.
one of the.
That's-
Isn't he also one of the members for
Yeah.
Snow and Flurry?
Does vocals
council or
in Wild
whatever.
God Sleeps,
Oh, okay.
which was one of the most
Menacing.
self-inflicting
Pretty
sets.
brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sick.
So let's jump to the end
Yeah, yeah.
here. What is it? It's like 4. Let's like jump around there. Yeah, I think that was like.
So yeah,
All
you can
the-
see all
all
the
the
confetti on the
confetti,
floor.
Yeah. Yeah, if you haven't watched this set, like, you done messed up. Pause this podcast and go watch this set.
Yeah, everybody up front.
Yeah, it's sweet. There, one guitarist there on the right. He plays in another band called Gadget that played on the second day. I think they opened.
Yeah.
That was another band that really stuck with me after this fest. That's
that's-
actually the vocalist right there.
Yeah,
Look at that
Trent.
shirt.
Looks straight out of Flintstones.
Caveman hardcore, man. It fits.
Yeah, shoutouts Gadget. That band slaps.
Yeah, love that band. Politely, yeah. The challenge of the whole entire festival is like,
Whoa.
Holy shit.
Fucking yeet.
And then this guy just goes back.
Gets his friend out.
Is that a kid?
No fucking idea.
Just a short
It's
dude.
like a random child.
oh, this dive.
Yeet.
Holy fuck.
I was like very close to just being off the stage.
Fucking getting a big boop.
Big filthy dummy riff.
It's just a guy wearing a high vis shirt.
Yeah.
Hell
Yeah, he had all the drip that whole weekend.
Triple Lord. He's actually a really good photographer.
He's got that OH.
Yeah,
from
OH
Florida?
nose strip.
From Florida. Blanking on his name right now.
It's either Marco or Marcos.
Marco,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I'm sure,
Hype.
Jordan, you can attest to like when you there's so much happening on both sides of the stage. It's just like, okay, I either cut to this stage dive or this person getting hate moshed on.
Yeah. It's so hard to
Come
choose.
Give him a hug.
Yeah. And then if you can see in the background, my arms are so high.
There you are.
Oh, you're doing the.
Like if no one's ever met me in real life, I am 6'5", and
He's a
so I'm trying to
tall
get my
boy.
camera like 9 feet, 10 feet up on. I think I step on the stage here just so I can get this angle.
Oh, I didn't know that. Very wholesome. I actually dropped my camera here, so it cuts to Jordan's cam because I'm like, oh, it's over. But then like, Matt gave us like a shout out here.
Last year, shout out to Scoped Exposure for being here and filming all this shit. The digital scene in hardcore and filming videos give scenes like ours the opportunity to get exposure. People see that shows here are fucking sick and bands roll through because they watch the videos and they see how hard we mosh and they see how much we love hardcore. Thank you. Advent's up next.
Hell
Thank
yeah.
you.
That should like be a bumper sticker, like every like I couldn't have like I feel like I like my voice strains like saying that to like people who don't like get the aspect of filming bands. So it was really cool like to see him like go out of his way during his final set to, especially at the very end, to be like, hey, like this is important. So yeah, shout out to Matt, shout out to War Prayer.
Hell yeah.
shouts.
Rest in peace.
Big shouts.
Um,
All right, your turn, I
Maybe
guess,
yours,
eh?
yeah, I guess so.
You're turning the hot seat.
Woo-wee. How long have we been going for? 43 minutes? Oh yeah, we're
40-ish?
making good time.
Yeah.
Despite technical
Well, I'm
difficulties.
looking at it.
Yeah.
Oh, I just closed it.
Brother.
Brother.
Shift T to open it again.
Command shift.
Oh,
Thank
damn.
you.
Jordan with all the fucking shortcuts.
Hot keys.
Man, I should like go into IT or something.
Jordan, the
Yeah.
tech team.
You actually
Yeah.
give it
tech
some
support.
thought.
He is.
So the set that I picked is the No Right Scope 2-year set, and the like obviously that was a very hype set, but I think for me the reason I chose that one was because I had no idea who that band was until I saw them at the DBK 5-year, and like it was kind of out of nowhere. Like they started playing. I think it was like the second day they played second last, just before Putrid Brew, and yeah, they started playing it. And I was like, oh, this band's like really sick. And then like it was like fairly like crazy, but then the ending was like insane. So when we were thinking about like bands to bring, like I guess like that, like now that Scoped is doing like more anniversary shows and getting more involved in that, like if I go to Vancouver and I see a band that I think like, hey, this would do super well in Calgary, or I'm in Winnipeg, or I'm in Minneapolis, like I want to bring those bands out to where we're based, and we can,
Right.
you know, do drum cams. We can do like the full 9 yards for them. So to have them for the 2-year was like super, super special. And we were planning on just like flying them out, but they're like, no, let's map a tour up. So they went up to Calgary,
Oh,
and
that's
then they
cool.
hit Vancouver and, you know, Seattle. So like hopefully that Vancouver show for them was good as well, but I think this Calgary one was great as well. So, and like amazing, like super nice people. Could not
Yeah.
say enough
Super chill.
good things about them. And yeah, let's freaking jump into it.
Yeah, I was hella impressed with this band. I hadn't listened to them at all.
Yeah, it was like
Did like a quick line check. We didn't. Well, actually, no. I think we did some sound checking, but still.
So, we just released an EP a few days ago. Has anyone heard it? Maybe?
yeah, it was pretty crazy. Like that.
I don't know how to pronounce the name of it.
Still don't.
Yeah, but they dropped that like a couple days beforehand, so I don't know. It's cool. It's just cool to like that a band is like planning their
Play the whole fucking thing tonight.
band things around our small little event.
Called Deliverance.
We got a pretty decent turnout for this,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Scope 2 year.
Especially like granted that it was like this was the
Fucking-
first snowfall of the
And it
year.
It was really
It was
shitty,
heavy.
yeah.
I know a lot of people from Edmonton were bummed that they couldn't make it out. That Digitech whammy.
Yeah. I think this is the set I had the least problems with, like cymbal bleed in the vocal mic from the 2 year, which that can be like a huge problem in these mixes, and it's like given like the turnaround time and like wanting to keep it, you know, pretty true to like the actual live show.
Yeah.
I don't want to like be sitting there like editing the vocals and like cutting in and out, but this one just, I don't know, she wasn't like
Yeah.
pointing the mic over her shoulder too much or anything like that. And despite being like right in front of the kit,
Oh, Luke.
yeah, friggin' like 7 feet tall, almost scraping the ceiling with his knuckles. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, this
there's
band
a-
fucking rips.
There's a lot of good like whip pans that we got in here because you edited this one.
I did edit this one. Somewhere in this set, I don't know where, unfortunately, so you're just going to have to watch the set. Because if you watch Scope and don't edit, you might not fully realize it. But when we do whip pans, I had a friend, actually, told us Spencer, I showed her some footage, and we did a whip pan and then a cut, and she's asking for the transition effect for it.
Yeah, just right
Premiere.
there even. Yeah.
And if you cut it right and you get your whip pans in sync, it's just so
So smooth.
smooth that it just almost looks like the camera just like whipped around the entire like crowd to the other side of the stage.
Yeah.
It's like one of the best.
Somewhere in this set, there's a point where we do it like
I think it's
five.
it's at the next song, so which is like right here.
Yeah, but like it goes back and forth and whipped like 4 or 5
Man,
times.
I love this song.
Also, his fucking snare drum. It was just like cracking through like a gunshot. It was the most pleasing thing to listen to when I was sitting down, like reviewing all the audio.
Yeah.
Just so good.
Ding ding
Yeah.
ding ding. Yeah, Andrew's the man. Also impressive that this band plays to a click. I don't think that we mentioned that.
They which?
They play to a click.
Oh yeah, Andrew, the drummer. He has a click in his in-ear monitor. So keeps them pretty on point. But it's like even, you know, no one else is hearing it
Yeah.
except him.
I love that like really quick like tuning. Just
Yeah.
hit the tuner pedal, da-da-da-da, and then jump right
Well,
in.
Like another thing that, you know, maybe I'm biased that I like about this band is, sorry guys, can't remember your names, but like the bass player and the guitar player on the stage left. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
One guy's a recording engineer and one guy's a sound tech.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
nice.
So I was chatting with them a little bit after the show. I was like pretty strung out because I hadn't like eaten all day, and I was like tired and like just coming down from like the stress of mixing a show and making sure the recordings were going. But yeah, no, like had a good chat with them about that.
Man, Evan like
and I
starting his sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
sorry to cut you off. Evan like starting his 2-step and like speeding it up, like he was like powering up like a Power Ranger or something. Sorry, cut you out there, Liam.
Yeah, no, it's all good. But yeah, no, buddy on this side of the stage, Tosh, I think. I think he recorded the album.
Oh, I see. This guitar?
Yep.
I think that's. I thought it was like Charles or Charlie or something, but
Yeah, Charles.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, that's fine.
Sorry, Charles. Yeah, band slaps. Just, yeah, the biggest human in the room.
Yeah.
Matt, any opinions on this one?
Pardon me?
Any opinions on this one?
Just the overall, I liked how that was No Right's first time playing Calgary and seeing everyone getting crazy and excited for them, because I know they're super popular in the like California, like Seattle area, but I wasn't too sure about how well they would be received in the Canadian region. But from when they played at DBK, everyone seemed to enjoy them, and then when we announced them playing our second year, everyone seemed to be excited for them, and then seeing how many people came to the show and the overall reaction and all the moshing and people getting excited about it just goes to show that they were excited to see them and
Yeah.
come out and support.
Yeah.
So
Definitely hope that they come back sometime in the near future.
Wild Rose 2020, who knows?
That'd be
Fingers
cool.
crossed.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I just want to cut to the very end for the last song, and then we'll move on here. Oh,
Oh yeah, and it was sick to see the members from Dare
Moshin.
getting
Yeah.
in the pit, like even just before their set,
yeah.
because they played last, right?
It's not like, I don't know, like I've been in scenes where it's like, oh, you're in the metalcore phase versus like straight hardcore.
Yeah.
But for California, it seems to be like there's no like divide there.
Yeah.
Like
Well, and as
a lot of those guys were just moshing real hard.
you know, as it should be. I mean, it's just music, right? Like,
Yeah.
Making it clicky between like subgenres of a subgenre, pretty much, is some pretty
Also,
do
this,
shit.
Yeah, this riff is mean.
big,
Dummy.
dummy
It's,
thick.
it's
riff.
always funny with the drum cams. Like, I'll usually do like a popular song and then like a more technical drumming song, but just the like drums, like just doing that like super simple tom part, like got way more views than the technical stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think somewhere in the set too, someone like knocks into the speaker and almost knocks
yeah.
it over.
Yeah.
And I
yeah.
catch it with my like one hand while holding the camera up with my other.
Jeez, bro.
Jordan,
Jordan,
the
savior.
superhero that we needed. Yeah, no, I'm super grateful to No Right that they got to play the 2-year anniversary, and yeah, maybe 2020 we'll get.
If you're
to
in
see
the Bay
them again.
Area, check out. No
Yeah,
Right.
check out their new EP. Support them. Beautiful and super nice people.
Great album art too.
Yeah, I will say.
Mm-hmm.
Way different than what you expect for that. Okay, Matt, it's your turn there, bud.
all right, my time. Let's fire away.
Well, no, intro this
Okay.
this set that we're gonna watch.
Intro the set. Okay, out of all the sets that we released this year, my favorite was definitely Set Straight. Mainly for a couple of reasons. One being I've been friends with the vocalist Zach for ever since Wild Rose last year, I think it was. And he's been talking about starting a band ever since then, and constantly seeing him tweet and just seeing him mention it. And so when I think it was at the beginning of this year, he said that he got a couple of people and they've been jamming. And then once this show was announced and I realized it was his band that was playing, I got more excited to see the set being released on our channel. And then the Instagram stories that I saw really surprised me, and just hearing his style of vocals, and then seeing everyone that's a part of the band that, like, I've seen most of them at Wild Rose, but just to see them starting a band and playing shows gets me really excited to see that there's new blood and new bands coming out of Calgary.
Yeah, and that entire show was very like Calgary New Blood in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we were figuring out, okay, what are all the sets, and we were like pulling up the tabs when you set the set straight, it surprised me, not because that band doesn't deserve to be on here, but it's just A, it's a really recent set that we've done, and B, they're not, like, it was their first show. So for you to give a bit of context as far as like why that was special for you to see, to kind of see the lead up to it, yeah, I think that's totally deserving, and I'm excited to watch this back. This show is actually a little interesting because Sloth is super small, so we've kind of decided that when we do these shows, it's instead of doing a multicam thing, it's usually either me or Jordan that are doing it. So he filmed it, and I think I was like not heckling, but I was like just like
You were standing behind me going, well, why don't you do this? And I'm just like, I got this.
Backseat filming.
I
Wow.
was not backseat filming. Oh,
You were looking at my shot a couple times, and I was
Yeah.
like, it's okay.
Yeah, I
I've
needed
done this
to,
once or twice.
I got this, Dad.
I needed to
Trust
lay
me,
off.
Dad.
So I'm sorry about that. But yeah, let's just jump into it.
Without further ado,
Also, this intro, very tastefully.
these are Calgary guys, right?
Yeah, super young guys. It's really cool to see them all come to shows all the time and support all the other bands, and then have their
It's
own.
always good to see a new band.
Yeah, and they're all.
I think
super young.
I can't speak for pretty much anywhere else, but Calgary hardcore is a little old. So anytime that there's, new bands with like brand new young kids coming up, that's hella important.
Absolutely.
real.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
He's actually got such a sick vocals.
Yeah, like during their sound check, people were moshing. Like I was standing there with my camera, and I think I was like filming during their sound call or sound check because I wasn't like fully sure. Like they started going, and I was like, "Is this a sound check? Is this not?" So I started filming to be safe.
Yeah.
And I think I did like arms up kind of shot, and someone like crowd killed me like just above my crotch area. Like if they swung a little
Crotch
lower.
kill.
Yeah, I was like, ugh. So I spent the rest of this set with my like body like this filming, so I didn't fucking.
Should get you a jock. Got to start wearing a cup.
Yeah, pretty much.
shows. That's too funny.
Yeah, this drummer's like fucking spanking his drum kit too.
Yeah, that's
Good.
that's Brock. When I met him, I had no idea that he like even played anything. And then I was like, "Oh, you play drums?" I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then
Yeah.
I'm like, "Dude hits."
Yeah. And this like a first band for a lot of these guys, like
I think they've been
I'm
in other
pretty-
bands before, but not like huge. You know what I mean? Like big, playing lots of shows kind of bands. Kind of.
Yeah.
I'm sure this is probably one of the first shows that all these guys have played.
that's sick. A lot better than any of my first bands.
I was gonna say like fuck.
way
I s-
better.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
half the times I don't even want to talk about like the first bands I played.
Yeah. If anybody who knows me knows the ones that I mean, and
We'll keep it
please,
at.
please stop making those jokes. Nice.
Wow.
I think Colby needs a distortion pedal. It sounds like a little.
Well, I
I
think
think-
they're playing
clean.
through really small amps too. I think. Or
Oh, I
something.
thought he was playing that stack behind him.
I don't think so.
No. That is my. He's playing my amp
Oh, is he?
actually.
Oh,
I thought they had little
well, that's a
little guys.
5150. Like, you don't really need a distortion pedal. I thought, like,
Well-
when they started playing, he had more, so maybe he, like, accidentally switched it off.
Yeah.
or-
I do remember now. He said like, "Hey, like, can I take a photo of your settings and just do my own thing and switch it back?" I was like, "Yeah, that's cool." So he dialed it in how he wanted to. So
yeah.
And like going back to that vocalist cutting between thing that I do, I also have a tendency of like, if I know there's like a guitar
here's
and
the
then
10-foot
vocalist
shot.
thing. Oh yeah.
Love that 10-foot angle.
Well, especially with how small that venue is, you have to try to get as angle you can.
Yeah,
yeah.
sure.
So what's your routine for that? Do you, like, just sit there at home and
I do.
do you do it with, like, 5-pound
Yeah,
weights?
he's gotta got weights in the.
My routine is not to do it at all, so that I can do it for as long as possible.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then complain about my back later.
Archivist yoga.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think this is where Wolfgang smoked me in the head. I'm like, dude, I gotta play after. I'm in your bed. One of my favorite things is also seeing Cole when he's feeling something. He's like, yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't know, 60% of the bands at Snow and Flurry, I'd look over and Cole's like not taking photos at all. He's just jamming it. He's like, I'm good.
Yeah. So sick.
Gotta rock out every once in a while, you know.
Yeah, man. That's a short one.
Yeah. But I actually saw something that Sonny posted the other day where he took all the average set lengths and
Oh,
like
yeah, I saw that.
I saw
kind of compared the viewership. So like, what is the perfect set for a Hate 56 video? And I think he like said some Vane video. The one Vane set from This Is Hardcore where everyone's wearing the Vane hoodies or windbreakers. Thank you. That was shorter than what they're used to playing. I think it was like 17 minutes,
I
but
think it was 19 minutes, I think it was.
yeah, but the average is like 24 or
Yep.
something.
The average
So-
length for This Is Hardcore, I think, was 24 or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's pretty long
Yeah.
yeah.
for a hardcore band.
Well, especially when there's like 12 bands per
Other
day.
bands playing, yeah.
Yeah.
Just quick changeovers. I'm curious on what the average Snow and Flurry set length was, because there was a lot of bands that played for like 11 minutes.
It's
Fucking Prime played for 5 minutes.
yeah, it's gonna get real whack because there's like Advent that's like a 40-minute set, and then there's Prime that's like a 5-minute set.
Yeah,
But those would be, like,
Opposites.
on the
they
opposite
cancel each other
ends, right?
out.
So it
in a
wouldn't
way. Yeah,
factor in, I don't think.
yeah. But I honestly prefer when something's shorter, because it's like it leaves you wanting more
Yeah,
for like
it's
the
like there's
next show,
space.
whenever that is. So
Can you see any of that data, like, through the
like the average amount of yeah,
you don't have to look right now.
yeah, maybe
but,
we could check after, but I'm sure
just,
there is.
like, an interesting thing.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say on the Set Straight set there, Matt?
I would. I was gonna comment on the length of their set being 13 minutes and a shorter set, but that's what I think is the best part of that whole set is it being so short that you're wanting more, and I definitely can't wait for their demo that they're gonna come out with and more shows, and I definitely want to check them out next year if that means me flying down on a non-Wild Rose date. So
Yeah, I'm super excited for them. I hope that they get some other opportunities and chances for shows like that, because
yeah,
it's
'cause
kind of
they're definitely
unheard
gonna
of now.
make
Where it's
waves.
like, yeah,
Mhm.
like, yeah, definitely super pumped for those guys. Proud of them. So that kind of goes through like all the sets that we've picked. But we still have some time here, and I don't know if someone was wanting to listen past an hour. I did a little bit of a call out on our Instagram just asking you guys what your favorite sets were, and I pulled 3 here that we're gonna just dive into real quick, and not like you have a choice. You're watching or listening to this. So the first one here, and arguably the it is the most viewed set that we've done this year, like analytics wise. Is the Inclination set at the Evan Shaw Memorial. So I think that there's a lot of different things that we can kind of comment on here. Like Liam has a mix that he worked on for this set that, like majority of our sets don't get to this, but like this one's at like over 6,000, which is pretty crazy. And, this is another one of the first shows that me and Jordan were multi-camming together. So, yeah, we can watch a little bit of
your
here.
First show, like, doing scope?
Oh, I got to do this, too.
No, my first show. Whoops. My first show doing scoped was Glare and Crash at
Right.
Without Papers.
Yeah.
Right.
December
Pizza Place.
16th, 2018.
Bruh.
I was going to post an anniversary, like, on this day last year, blah, 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 and then I forgot. Because I'm really shitty at Instagram.
First off, I've been in contact with Jess about this show for a while now. I want everyone to give a huge round of applause for everyone who's working so hard. It's a very special thing, so we're honored to be a part of it. And our singer, if you guys don't know our singer, is Linga. And so I want to give a huge shout out to Anthony and everyone else for filling in, coming to my
It was super cool, like, that Isaac is, like, giving proper context for what you're about to see versus, like,
Yeah.
I had to put up a text thing being like, oh, this isn't a true Inclination set.
Yeah.
But, yeah, super major ups to them for still doing the show despite not having their front person.
Yeah. No, it was just really tight how you had all sorts of different people like doing the vocals. Isn't the bass player filling in as well?
No,
No,
Caleb.
he's
Caleb's-
He's
full-time
the
okay.
full-time member. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this set was really great. This show is really cool too.
Mm-hmm.
Doing the live mix in this venue is really, really weird just because it's a really long hall.
Mm-hmm.
So it was hard to make it like clear and all that. And then also having like the PA stacked like on stage at the same level as like the amps made it kind of difficult. But
Yeah.
like they had fucking every single person had like great tone, great like ability for playing, and it made mixing this like super easy. Like I think this is probably overall my favorite scope mix that I've ever done.
Yeah.
And it's like I tend to improve like with each one, but this one like it just returned really, really well. Everything sits more or less like where I want it to.
Yeah.
And that's with like live recordings, that's pretty hard to do, right?
Yeah.
Like this sounds close to album quality.
Oh, for sure. And it was also interesting, like hearing a lot of these Inclination songs just before
Yeah,
when
that
Fear
EP.
Turns to Confidence came
Yeah.
out.
Fucking banger record.
Yeah.
Yeah, this band's so good.
Where did we put the H4? You like clamped it up on the wall, like
Oh,
just off to the
you
side.
might be
Yeah,
able to
like-
see it on
Yeah.
Jordan's
Like-
angle. It's like,
If I ever look at the crowd again,
Yeah.
like if you see the exit sign behind me,
Kind of like
it'd be the exact
across.
opposite side.
Right.
and that was more so because we went to get coffee before Fuse, who opened the show, and then we like came back and they were already playing. So I was like just rushing and I just threw it up there and
Yeah.
then it just lived there. So, and there is some H4 in this mix.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's H4 in this mix.
Yeah, it's like right there.
Yeah, okay, I see
Yeah.
it. H4 is in this mix. I think I actually forgot to place an overhead, or it got like bumped. Yeah, you can see it. It's like pointing at the back of the wall. Just between like making sure everything's like mic'd up, ready to go, monitors are working, changing the lighting color.
Yeah.
You know, and then making sure the recording's like ready to go and it's not going to crash on me. Like I just forgot something, but I made it work.
Yeah.
I think I leaned a little bit harder on the H4 for like the cymbals and the drum sound in this,
Yeah.
which worked pretty well.
I think it's so cool. Like I never thought that it would pop off this much
Fucking
as far as
Donnie
a set, views wise. Because I think a lot of bands have like reached out to me like, hey, can you like not post that set? We had to fill in or whatever.
Yeah.
But like what makes this set unique is that like there is no other set with like a 3 different people filling in on vocals.
Yeah.
And let alone like a benefit or a memorial show for someone like super dear. So there's a lot of like heartfelt things said in between.
And the fact that
What do you
I just
fix
hopped
it- what
on.
are you
I hopped
fixing
on
here?
stage to fix the overhead. I was standing at the back and I did like, oh, fuck.
and the fact that it is like 3 different people filling in, it's just like that hardcore community, just like presenting itself right there.
Well, Calgary too. Like, I think when Expire did their like last Canadian shows, like 2 of the members couldn't get across
Yeah,
the
that's
border or
right.
something.
Something like that. Yeah.
That was one of my first hardcore shows.
Yeah, yeah. So like, there was like 9 people who were like swapping. Like,
Vocal.
okay, I fill in on guitar, I fill in on bass, I fill in on vocals, and it was. I really regret not traveling from Winnipeg to go to that show because I saw like a phone video. I was like, man, this looks insane. Just like like changing out all the members.
Yeah.
A lot of people like commented on this video. They're like new vocalists. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, that's just Evan.
Definitely like watching this video. I'm kind of surprised that Evan's never been a vocalist in a band because he just,
Didn't he
does
used
it
to
right.
do-
His vocals are fucking sick.
He used to do something. He was in a
Before he
band, I
moved
thought.
out?
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah,
Before
he
he
said
moved
that
out
he
here.
did some stuff in a band in Ottawa before he
Okay.
moved here. But like, I saw this, and this is before Endgame even started, and I was like, man, we should get into bands together, brother.
Yeah.
Like, he's got the pipes.
Yeah, he's a good vocalist.
Got the pipes, got the stage presence. Another thing that's, kind of an unspoken whatever. People are kind of like uncomfortable when you bring up how important stage presence is and,
Yeah.
performing or whatever, but it's like, it's part of it, right?
Yep.
Like if he was just standing there doing the vocals, then
Yeah.
it probably wouldn't be popping off as much, right?
Very
Like it's
true.
an interactive thing.
Yep.
Yeah, this band fucking rips.
I think that was one of the first times I saw Jay Breen mosh too.
Yeah. Doesn't do it very
I
often.
think they even pointed out, it's like, fucking Jay Breen's moshing, you better step
fucking
up.
mosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anthony says that.
I think that's later in the set. Straight edge.
Fuck, that stage was so small.
Yeah. Reminds me of
They were all crammed right up there.
yeah. I definitely want to jump to the end.
Yeah. Tons of big goofy smiles. Everybody's having a fucking great time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This was a great show, man.
Yeah, definitely one of the best of the year.
Like probably the best send off we could have given Evan too.
Oh,
Yep.
for sure. I think it's in this song. There's like a casual like something on the stage like opens, and then Nathan from Stepping Stone like moshes into it to close it, and then moshes back. I'll point it out if I see it.
How many fucking bands is this drummer in too?
Ethan.
Ethan?
Mm-hmm.
He's in
Why am I blanking?
Wrist Meets Razor.
Brian.
Brian.
Yeah, yeah.
Brian. Wrist Meets Razor. Sea Space Cowboy?
Not
Or no,
Sea
Not
Space
anymore.
Cowboy
Not anymore.
Kicked him out over text.
Well, they're lost, I guess.
Yeah.
He's in like
He's
6
in
bands or something.
Glass
Wait.
Killing Floor.
Glass Killing
Yeah.
Floor, Wicked Garden, Inclination, Wrist Meets Razor. I feel like there's one more.
Yeah.
Probably it, yeah. I know he's a big death metal guy too. So I'm
Do you know which one it is, Matt?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
said that one. Yeah. Everyone started getting all like shirts and skins.
Terps off
It
for the
got
boys.
it got real fucking warm in there, man.
Mind you, this is like a huge straight edge Pride song.
Yeah.
Cole's like,
Kaden.
don't kick my camera, please. Man, those riffs.
Yeah. Just
Big
mean. Just big boy chords all over the place.
Yeah. Well, this band also has a lot of like decrescendoing parts.
Yep.
It just like it's, yeah, like right here, which I think really works for them.
Yeah, I really like this band.
Solid stylistic choice. Yeah. Fucking ripper set.
Sweet.
Very sick.
On to
Yeah.
the next one.
Yeah, we definitely had like a lot of people say like that was their favorite, and you know it was like Liam wanted to pick that as his favorite. I'm like, no, we have that one already
Yeah.
claimed. Another one, and I think Matt, you can kind of attest to this one because this is a set that none of us were actually at, but you were. Was Vane at 333.
RIP.
So, do you want to give some context to that show, and maybe some of the things that were hyped up about it?
Which set?
This is the Vane at 333.
Oh, the Vane.
The last
Oh,
DBK
yeah.
333 show.
I actually have a couple of things on that. One, I almost broke my arm a couple of times. Because I was so close to, or I was right beside the stage. I was right in the war zone, as I call it now, and just because people like Taylor, Luca, just a bunch of people from the Vancouver hardcore scene were just moshing and having a good
All the big
time,
boys.
and
Yeah.
and when I'm in that situation, I just kind of let happen what happens. And so and then I was actually looking on our comments section a couple of weeks ago, and at some point during the set they actually played a new song, and so that was, so as far as I know, we're the first channel to have that new song play, and then
Oh,
sick.
interesting.
or recorded, and then also it being the like last true hardcore show at 333 and the last DPK hardcore show at 333, and then like after that show there were a couple like post-hardcore shows, but for like a true DPK 333 Clark Drive show, that was the last one, and then also Vane coming off of Arizona from last year, and then how big they're getting with their new mathcore style, as some people call it.
Yeah. No,
So-
it was definitely hyped when that tour was announced. That never came through Calgary. I think it only dipped up to Vancouver.
Yeah.
So then I was like, Matt, get your butt to Vancouver. A lot of those other sets were really hyped too. Like I remember Higher Power was on that bill, and when I got the footage from
Yeah,
it, I'm like,
Higher
this
Power
is
also
so
played,
stupid.
like that whole show in general
Pretty
was
stacked.
one to remember, and for those that weren't there, they missed a lot, because even like even Modern Color and Higher Power, like it was supposed to be a 4-bill set, but Soft Kill couldn't get across the border, and so it ended up being just a 3-bill show. But even then, it was still just as crazy because all the bands that were on there
For sure.
have
yeah.
either played Vancouver before or people were, and also everyone that like I'm pretty sure they went over capacity for that show.
Oh, I
because
believe
it was the send
fucking
off.
packed like
And
Yeah, it
so.
was like
so-
lined up out the door or something around the
Yeah,
block.
if I was actually gonna pick the Vane set as my favorite set, but I want to broaden and get out of not picking a set that I filmed, but
Mhm.
that was definitely one of the top 5 sets
Yeah.
to
Well, yeah. Let's just
to go to and then to film.
yeah. Let's jump into it because I'm sure a lot of people are itching to check it out if they haven't. I remember seeing photos of you, Matt, and you were holding it like one-handed because you're like trying to defend it against the moshers too. So
Well, and Triple Three is one of those places where it's like I wish I had gone to more shows there, and recorded shows. But I'm
Okay.
also like really glad that the audio on this one is like the way it is, like just the mic on the camera or whatever, because it fits Triple Three a lot better
Oh.
than like a clean recording would.
absolutely. I don't think they even have the capacity to do something like that.
Actually, well, I know the console that they have, and you can
Oh, okay.
like send off a board mix and whatnot,
Yeah.
but it just works. Like shows that I wish I went there was like that O for Union.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think Woolworm played as well, and it's like that new Woolworm record's a fucking banger.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Triple Three. But back to this one. It's always kind of a trip to like, I think these guys they're from Boston or
Boston.
around
Yeah, yeah.
Boston.
Mhm.
And it's like, you know, from literally the opposite coast on the other side of the
Fucking
continent,
true,
all
yeah.
the way on the Pacific coast. Like, there we go.
Yeah. There's not a lot of safe spots.
No,
You could
Matt,
literally,
Matt, you're getting pummeled.
you could,
If I
in
wanted to,
theory,
I could
jump
have
from the stage all
gone
the way
on
to the back
stage.
if you wanted
Yeah.
to.
For sure.
Yeah, I think one of the photos that we put out with this set is like one of the most liked photos on our Instagram.
Oh,
It's
really?
just all it is the lead singer just mid-air flight.
That's sick.
Everinder caught that. Shout out to Everinder.
Yeah.
I love this breakdown.
Well, Everinder, he was from Winnipeg too, right? or
Yeah,
he
lived
lived
there
there
for a
for a
time.
bit, yeah.
yeah. Hollow Ground. First strike.
Oh, I remember Hollow Ground.
Luca just. I think this band also like changes up some of the songs live.
A little bit, yeah.
Like does a
Full extra.
breakdown, double the amount of time.
Yeah, I definitely love it when bands like get a little more creative with their own material
Yeah.
in a live set or do like an alternate version or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just tight because it's like it doesn't always have to be the same way,
Yeah.
Right.
you know? Any other highlights from the set from you, Matt, or?
I think it was this set. The guitarist that's right beside me that's doing the
Yeah.
other vocals at one point actually got on top of one of their monitors, their speakers, or their amps,
Really?
and just started going crazy with that. And then I think it's for Doom Tech. Their DJ actually uses a bunch of 808 sound
They had a DJ
sound
for this one?
samples.
Yeah, he's
DJ.
behind
And
the.
so-
He's behind the guitar rig.
Pretty sure he's
Yeah.
a full-time member now.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
there's a couple of
Sick.
times that I pan over to him, but that's what I also noticed with Vane is that they have a DJ on stage, and for most times when bands try to experiment with electronic music and also DJs, it doesn't always work as
he's
well.
just straight down there.
Yeah, the guitarist is on the floor now. That's sick.
But that's what I also noticed too. Oh yeah, and then at one point the guitarist actually gets into the crowd and
Yeah, he
actually
just
starts
He just did that.
playing in
Yeah,
there. So-
that's so sick. Yeah, that's an awesome one. Do you want to go on to another one? How are we doing for time?
It's about 12:30.
Okay. Yeah, we could probably do one more and then maybe wrap up here. Yeah, that band's insane.
Slaps, bangs, fucks, and smashes.
I'm glad I
Sounds
was
about
able
right to
to
me. Yeah.
capture that one.
So the last set when we did our call out for favorite sets of this year was a band called Orthodox, and my band in Winnipeg played with them, and I was like, oh yeah, of course I want to film Orthodox and KublaiKhan. I know a lot of people from Calgary were like really choked that they weren't coming
Yeah.
out this way because they're a pretty prominent, heavy, straight edge band. Yeah, I really like this set. This was the set that really put me on to this band a lot more. Who here has watched it? I'm kind of curious.
I've watched some of it for sure.
Yeah, I've seen it a little bit.
I didn't watch it. Sorry.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well,
You're off the team, Jordan.
yeah. This show as well, like the venue is like has only recently started been doing like more heavy music events. So the room is massive.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looked pretty big for the amount of people.
Oh, I have to go back there. Sorry, because this band's from Nashville,
Yeah.
and of course the lead singer starts shitting on the Jets immediately.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Curtis is probably pissed.
That's Curtis there.
Yeah.
He was like, "Fuck the Predators." Yeah, it's
Full
like
of chirp.
I was kind of surprised that this one was like voted as like a highlight, just because like the band is bar none like super sick. The show itself is like maybe not like the most full or active or like
Yeah.
coolest moshing wise, but you know like I guess it doesn't like
It's not all about that though. I
Yeah.
mean, like even if the band's killing it to like 2 people.
Yeah. I do love that the vocalist just like really draws people in, makes everyone kind of feel comfortable.
What other bands is that drummer in? I've seen him before.
Oh, so he was on tour with Left Behind
Oh, yeah, okay.
Um,
That would make sense.
when they were
played.
coming through. But
the Acacia Strain.
he was just filling in. This is his full-time band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I feel like I got some really good like camera pans in this one.
Who's doing the second angle for you?
Sick.
That's my buddy Eric. So he doesn't normally shoot shows. He's not. I don't know if he's even full on into this kind of music, but we shot a couple weddings together actually, and then I asked him if he wanted to help me second cam this. But he's got a knack for it for sure.
Well, weddings and hardcore shows, pretty much the same thing. at
Yeah,
this point.
Some whip pants.
Get
for the
Orthodox
first-
to play your wedding.
Yeah. Oh, so sick.
Yeah, this band's
I'm
sick as
assuming you
fuck.
listened to them before this.
Only like a little bit.
Just because some of these like whip outs and like pan outs are like
Pretty on point.
zoom outs. That's the word I'm looking
Yeah.
for.
A lot of it is just like, as you know, it's just kind of like guessing. You're like, I think that there's going to be something transition wise here. And then there's plenty of scope sets where I've, especially single cam, where it doesn't work.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah. You're like, well,
You like
that's what
there's
it
gotta
is.
be a vocals right here, and you whip to the vocalist, and they just stand there, just like, you know, well, fuck. Now what am I
It's
supposed
true.
to do?
It's very true. Oh, that tone.
Jesus. Just over the top aggressive. It's fucking tight.
Yeah.
so sick.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious if I can find the song. It's a new song that they played.
What the fuck was that guy doing?
Oh yeah, let's go back to that. I think this move here, right here.
That's how I mushed.
It's fucking like goofy ass legs. I'm not ready for that style, man.
Yeah.
Winnipeg's different.
Winnipeg's on a whole nother level.
A whole
Yeah.
nother level.
Moshing in
something in the water.
2019. I'm trying to find that song. I don't think it's this one. No, I'll just watch this one. Yeah, all these dudes are super, super nice when I chatted with them.
It's like that SpongeBob meme. Death metal vocalist
Oh,
after
yeah,
their
yeah.
set.
The super clean
Yeah.
circular sponge.
Versus death metal vocalist on stage, and it's like
Ripped SpongeBob.
rip SpongeBob.
That's definitely true.
Yeah, these guys have a new. I don't know if the album is actually already out.
I think I remember seeing something like around when this set got posted.
Yeah. Let It Take Its Course is the new album. The song I was looking for is off of that, and it's got like a really cool like a double ride, like digga,
Yeah.
something like that.
I like how this vocalist like has what am I trying to say? Like he's not like super hype all the time, but it's like he's being really intense and like more like gestures and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You know, not all over the stage, not running around and shit like that, but
Or not letting like he's setting his own standard of like energy versus like only setting it to what the crowd is.
Yeah.
Because a lot
Yeah,
of people can come out of the gate and then get like, well,
Yeah.
if a show's not like super hype. It's also cool to see his like stage, like, you know, moves, if you will, like kind of match like old details of the song. Like right there, just
Yeah.
that spin.
Definitely gonna give these guys a listen on the way home.
Yeah. That is a Cole riff.
It sounded like a Marilyn Manson riff for a second, like "Beautiful People."
Oh. Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of brings us to the end. I think we got a little bit here before we gotta wrap it up. But is there any other? Maybe we could do like a quick fire off of any bands that maybe we didn't pick their sets specifically, but they had like, they just caught your eye. Whether it was like somewhere at the fest or a video that you saw one of the other guys capture, kind of like a, what's that called? Like a honorable mentions. Yeah.
All right,
Jordan, you want to go?
Oh fuck, I'm starting again.
On the spot.
Give Way. I
Yeah,
definitely
Yeah.
from Stone Flurry. I think they were like second band that played.
Second or
or third.
Third, maybe even fourth,
Yeah.
first day.
But yeah, like didn't know what to expect going into Stone Flurry. And like the first band that played was Gadget, and then was it Gadget?
No, it's
First day was Fenced In,
Fenced
which is
In.
like members of Gadget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like everyone just like started going ham and stuff like that. Give Way though, I like really caught my eye and I really liked them. Mm-hmm. I think even after the set, I like walked over to Spencer. I was like, I'm gonna edit that one.
Yeah. Like,
And you're
okay.
like, okay.
Dibs.
That out of all the set, I will say out of all the sets that we've premiered this year, like a big hope for me is like the hope is that other people see these sets, and if there's bands that we don't know or that they don't know, we can kind of be the ones to kind of put them onto them. So out of all the sets that we've done, Giveaway, I got the most response was like people DMing me being like, yo, like I had no idea who this band was before you put out a set. Like I'm happy that you showed this band to me. So yeah, Giveaway's like a definitely a huge honorable mention. So,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that band was one of my favorites from Snow and Flurry as well.
Yeah. What about you, Cole?
Are we do Jordan or Liam first?
Oh, yeah. I was like, let's bounce around, but we could do Liam. I wasn't trying to cut
Audio's
you.
always last. For sets that like we didn't film, I haven't been able to watch too many like other sets from any of the other archivists. But when you guys were down in at Snow and Flurry, Baptists came through and played Calgary with Fall City Fall and
Mortality Rate and
Mortality Rate and Trench, yeah. And that set was just a really good time. It's kind of nice, like for once that, I was just going to a show in a capacity where I'm like just there to watch.
Just chilling.
I'm not working or like, it's not like Scoped is there filming. And yeah, no, like it was a pretty bonkers set. People like moshing and whatever, but at one point this like hella drunk random bro snatched Andrew's Pilsner can, and I don't think Andrew knew this, like off the stage and took a belt out of it and then just like put it back
really?
on stage, and they played a couple songs, and Andrew's like looking around for his beer, and he like grabs it and pick it up, and I'm like trying to catch his eye. I'm like, don't, like some random dude drank your beer, like, and just like takes a swing. I'm like, oh, gross, like that sucks. And then later, this guy, I don't know what he was trying to do, like get the mic or something, but he just started like punching him like in the arm, and then like got him in the ribs like once really good. And I think Andrew just like put the mic down and like looked at him.
Yeah.
And then security just like came up behind this guy and like full Nelsoned him and like tossed him right out of the venue. He was just drunk as hell, like being a weird dick.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
But that was a really good set.
Granted, we did capture a Baptist set this year, which was
Very true.
and arguably,
DBK.
yeah, at DBK, and they're at a level of a band where I didn't think that they would even give a fuck about it. You know, just because when you're that big of a band, either you have a bunch of like sets already captured, so when you get a ping that hey, this small little Canadian whatever, you know, did something. Like, I didn't think anything of it. I set my expectations really low for a lot of things.
Yeah.
But they were like, oh, thank you so much. And then they reposted it. And, like, you can see the analytics go from, like, first DBK set, and then Baptist.
It's DBK set. Yeah. Another one would have been, like that Oaf reunion show, like kind of a last send-off, very last send-off. One of the many last shows at 333.
Yeah.
That looked bonkers. There were people throwing fucking garbage cans. I think Woolworm also played that one, which is that band's been great for a minute, but that again, that new record Awe that came out, it's just awesome.
Yeah. Did you see any sets or even like bands, like smaller bands at like Wild Rose this past year that you were kind of like, oh, like I never really listened to them?
Reclaim.
Yeah.
Reclaim was so good, man.
Shout out to Reclaim.
Nice as fucking dudes.
Nice as fuck dudes. They helped everybody at the fest like so much. They were very glad to be there, very easy to get along with.
Yep.
And yeah, they were like helping bands get set up on stage. I just thought they were like some random dudes.
Yeah. They were at like every show. They're at the pre-show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were chilling all weekend. They were super helpful.
They bought like a lot of Scoped merch as well,
Oh, so
and have
I
rep
did
that.
shirts for them too. I printed shirts for them. They used one of my photos for from that show for one of their cassettes that they released.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Right on.
Yeah.
Shout out Reclaim.
Shout out Reclaim.
Miss you
those
boys.
guys.
Come back.
Come back soon.
Cole, speak into your mic.
Hello.
Oh, okay. I'm messing with the wrong one. All right, Cole, your turn.
I think one of my more favorite sets that I was really excited for was Wild Rose Fest this year. The Beautiful Ones, one of my more
hell yeah.
favorite bands from
That was a
that
great
set. Yeah, just have always wanted to see that band. Was honestly really surprised that they even came here. And yeah, just the response from them was awesome. And I don't know, I just kind of like that different kind of style where it's a little bit more softer in areas and kind of like more relaxed, and then it gets into like super like chunky heavy breakdowns or whatever. But yeah, that was an awesome band. Another one of my favorite sets was one that we didn't actually we filmed, but I don't think we put it out. It was the National Music Center Wake show with Begrime.
Oh yeah.
Why didn't we release that one?
Well, there was quite a few issues with it. I think there was just like a whole camera crew that was already there. So Jordan and I were kind of fighting for spots for that, and they were doing like a professionally recorded audio thing all set up for that. But it was a really cool set because it was only two bands, Wake and Begrime, and two like really metal bands. So it was really cool to have such an awesome area for them to be playing in, and just the sound for everything was just perfect. And it was really cool to see, like especially Wake, like one of my favorite Calgary metal bands.
By far. Yeah.
Just to see them play in that kind of style of in a room like that was just so awesome. It sounded so good.
Yeah. I think from a technical or production angle, I think that like we're still game to like release that set, but I think that there was this constant uncertainty, I think, on me and Jordan's side, where it was like, okay, there was like so maybe you can tell it better, because I wasn't there, you were there filming it.
Talked with the people from the National Music Center, and they did professionally record it. There was
6,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5
Five
camera
other
angles
camera angles, yeah.
in 4K that they filmed. They didn't give us Begram Eximus's, but they gave us Wake's all the footage. I can't remember if they gave us the mix for it as well. I think no.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. But I have all the footage. And the initial plan was they were like, you can use the footage. You just have to credit us. The thing is, if someone's never edited a set before or like edited something before, the more angles there is, the harder it is, and the longer the set it is as well. It was a 52-minute set
Yeah, super long sets
with
for both
6
ends.
angles.
Yeah.
So that would
pick your angles and go from there. I guess.
yeah. So that'll probably be, if someone was to edit it, it would be hours and hours of editing to get through it.
Yeah, and I think pushing
You
to
don't need to use every angle though. Like,
yeah.
No, I think me and Spencer discussed it, and we're like, they took those angles and they did like a couple of short videos for the band
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't
So-
full sets or anything. It was just a couple songs.
Well, they were filming the whole time.
But they only
But-
released a couple songs.
They
Only edited
did a couple
enough
songs edited for them.
to. Yeah.
I think we discussed it, and we're gonna do the set and like release it. But we're just gonna do the one angle that I filmed. Like I did film the entire thing.
Right.
I got all of it. I had to pause in the middle of it because
It was so
I have a
long.
Rebel T5i camera, so it only records 30 minutes at a time. It's an hour-long set.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're just gonna do single cams for that.
Yeah, and I think I think to keep things more simple for more simpler shows, like, maybe for that production crew it was like, oh, let's make it this big deal, but since we're doing so much throughout the year, like we want to more spend, like add more time for like the sets that we know are going to pop or that are bigger deals, like the Scoped anniversary. Of course, we want to have Liam's audio side on there, or for the fest. But for like a random like 2-band show, like context wise, like I don't know if
I mean,
that
if it's recorded, right?
yeah. So it will come out eventually, but I don't think we're gonna put as much effort as those guys did.
We've got,
it was
we've got a few things on, kind of like in the
Limbo.
yeah,
Yeah,
like a lot of stuff that's
yeah.
material
Trying
we're sitting on.
trying to clear stuff out.
Because it was like a showcase of Alberta music. And
Yeah.
like,
It was actually like
it
such a
was
good show.
super Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was cool that we could document it, but I think they were doing all the work to showcase all this stuff.
Yeah, it gets to
there.
that point where, especially with how fast things go, like by that time, by the time that show's done, there's already like other shows and other things that we're thinking about, so it really gets on the back burner.
Yeah.
This is another show that day that you're trying to film as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh right, yeah.
I think it
yeah.
was a sloth
Something
shothere
else that- I thought it was no. There was there
It's
3
Dickens.
shows?
Was
that
it
night?
Dickens show?
It was.
I thought maybe it was
Trying to
Broken
remember what it
City.
was, but yeah, I think like overall, I think in 2020, I definitely want to be strategic about like how we film stuff so it can be super timely. I'm trying to guarantee for festivals now, like, okay, if you go with Scoped, like videos will be out in like 3 months is kind of what I'm aiming for, because once it passes a certain amount, like
People don't.
It just loses.
yeah,
its,
it loses its luster. So
yeah.
Like, what was the turnaround on the No Right video? That was pretty quick, wasn't it?
I think it was,
No, right, it was like a week.
a week.
Yeah, 1 week. At
Yeah,
least.
yeah, yeah.
And even like Warper was like a day.
Yeah. But that was like
Well, and
a
it helps if you have,
simpler
like, the board
setup.
mix audio and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys were also editing like in the airport terminals, like on your way home.
No, he's just
I was passed out.
He was dead.
and then I was at straight to work.
Oh,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, I think for me, if I can give a honorable mention, Shallow End at the DBK pre-show. To give context, the 5-year had like 30 bands or something, 33 bands. I think we filmed. I think it was 35, and we put out 33. But they were the very first band to play the very first show. There was 5 shows, and like they like set it off like that. And I was like super impressed with their music, their presence on stage. yeah, I was just like into it as soon as they started playing. I've like worked with that band since after that, and talked with them a bunch of times, hoping that they come play Calgary in the near future. But yeah, like that has a little special place in my heart, especially the band after. I think they're on stage and they're like, yeah, it always sucks to be the second band when the first band absolutely demolishes the set.
Pops
So,
off.
A lot of pressure right now. So shout out to those guys. Vancouver Island hardcore forever. Matt, what about you? You got an honorable mention?
Oh, wow. Probably Candy at Wild Rose, just because of how insane they were. They were one of the last bands to play the second day, and I was also I was awake for, I think at that point, like 26 hours without sleep. And so
Jesus.
they were the driving force to keep me awake. And even though I passed out for like 30 seconds while standing up, and then I woke up and I was like, oh, this is where I am. I'm currently seeing Candy, and they've definitely been making a lot of movement, and people are talking about them a lot more because they're different and they're not your traditional hardcore with what they're mixing it up with. So
Yeah. Well, and it was pretty interesting that people were still like, you could tell people were dead fucking tired. Like last band, second day.
Yeah.
But people were still going off.
Yeah.
yeah, and then Candy's also in the list of bands that I never thought I'd actually ever see,
Yeah.
but then to actually experience them and say, oh, I saw them in Calgary is definitely a highlight. Is one
Yeah,
of
that
the
band-
many highlights.
Yeah, that's like, I just looked it up, and that set like kind of popped off as well. It's almost
Nearly
2,000 views.
views,
Yeah. How was that mix wise for you, Liam? Can you think of anything?
Toss it on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. It was pretty good. I think some of the audio. Did I have issues with that set? Man, I have to dig deep for this one. Just like so many things, like so many videos,
Yeah,
so many
yeah.
mixes. You like kind of have to like have it in front of me to think about it.
This entire set was just red.
Yeah, they requested that, and it sucks because like the lighting controller at the back, like where Sunny is standing,
Yeah.
it's kind of broken, so you had to like fuck with it to get it to
Oh,
work.
okay.
And I like luckily I got it to stay red. I think it was either this set or Beautiful Ones where one of the guitar players had like a really weird guitar tone, and getting it to like level out into the mix was kind of difficult. And then yeah, like the guitar player's backup vocals, like they're so fucking sick, but I could have mixed them maybe a bit quieter.
Yeah.
Like just overpowers a lot of the mix.
It is definitely like super, like watching this set and the Act Fest one, like having the drum cam in there
Yeah.
is like a nice little change of pace, even if it's like stagnant.
Yeah. Yeah, this band rips. I think they released like a 2-song EP around September.
Yeah, on Relapse.
Yeah.
Super weird.
Like, yeah, and both those songs just fucking crush. Like, I think I listened to it 6 times in a row when I saw that it released something.
Yeah.
And I wasn't, because you know Spotify, like sometimes there's an artist you listen to with the same name as another one. So there's like this rapper called Verse. So I keep
okay.
seeing like new Verse tracks come out, and I'm like, oh wait,
It's weird.
no, it's not. So yeah, like I saw like Candy had a new release, but the art was like that weird, like almost tribal design.
Well,
And I was like, is
I
this
think
like
it's like
the
a
same
ninja
one?
star.
Yeah, or
That's what
something
I
like
think
that,
it is.
right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like this band fucking crushes. Love how they do kind of like the like super heavy parts, but also like, you know, faster hardcore, like more like Trash Talk or Old Ceremony as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
But then like straight up like metal parts like this.
The metal corruption.
Damn, it's fucking sick.
Is it this part has the drum? It's like, yeah.
I love this fucking song. It's so good. Just gets back into that chunk after this.
This was one of the sets that Sonny gave his angle for.
Yeah.
And he was so high up, so there was like a lot of really cool like shots to kind of jump to.
Well, he was also standing on top of the sub,
Yeah.
the subwoofer that was on stage.
Yeah, I
So
should
that
ask
gave
him if he
that
was
gave him,
like
another
shaking.
like 14 or 16 inches or
Yeah,
something.
that's so sick.
But yeah.
Cool. Well, we're kind of at the tail end of all this.
sure.
I think we covered a lot of really cool sets. There's a plethora of other ones that we could sit here for another hour and watch. But maybe that's for a later date.
Yeah, we'll have to trim this one down, I think.
Yeah. First off, thank you to anyone who's like supported Scoped in any size, whether it's watching the videos, sharing the videos, subscribing to the channel, subscribing to the podcast, sharing the podcast, being a hater,
Making memes about us.
making memes, liking Cole's photos, sending Liam nice messages on his mixes.
Thank you.
Yeah, seriously, we really appreciate it, and we hope this was entertaining. I hope when we put it all together, it works.
It'll work.
She'll work.
Any thoughts to wrap up? I get this will come out just after 2019 into 2020, but do you guys have anything you want to say before we say goodbye?
It was a fun first year at Scoped.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it
glad to
is.
have you, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm really thankful for Scoped. It's really helped my mixing progress in a way. And I think a lot of people think like I don't do studio recordings anymore or something like that. And it's like the total opposite. Like I love to do as many as I can. And I feel a lot more confident now with all of the stuff that I've like had to learn, you know, through trial and error, or just like trying to think of different ways or how I can get stuff to sit better in a mix. Like now I don't know, it's just brought my skill level up quite a bit, and I'm very grateful for that. And I'm also grateful because it's given me stuff to do to take my mind off of what's been kind of like a really shitty year and a half,
Yeah.
kind of in my personal life. So yeah, no, happy to have it. Thanks for letting me do the audio. Thanks
Oh, of
anybody that
course.
watches.
Yeah. What about you, Cole? You have any?
Yeah, I'm just super thankful to be able to do this with so many cool people, and all of us are all such hard workers, and it's great to have something like that to really drive you. Yeah, just I love this shit. This is awesome, and I think the next year is going to be even better.
Yeah, I'm hoping for like I'm super excited for next year. Like I feel like this was our not breakout year by any means, but definitely like the one that we busted ass and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
you know, doubled the amount of sets. I have to talk to you about doing some montage graphics so we can have our proper year in review graphics.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure, I can do that.
But I've been selfish. I'm like, okay, let's just get a couple more in there before we do our like, okay, we're done for the year.
Yeah.
What about you, Matt? Do you have any thoughts you want to end off this podcast with?
Just all the traveling I've been doing, like I definitely did more traveling this year for scope and show wise, for like going to Calgary the once, and then I know I went to Vancouver at least once or twice
Yeah.
for shows, and then just working with you guys, and then just seeing the reaction that we've been getting, and everyone's just kind of like, oh, they're not just one guy, or it's just not a like side project. It's like there's a whole production team behind it, and so I'm stoked for next year and what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, and as I always say, it takes a well. What was I trying to say? it's a teamwork that makes a dream work, and I definitely could not do this alone. And I know it's not a common thing for someone in our space to do. So I'm like really glad that we're kind of pioneering that in our own way. So thank you all for what you've done in this last
Thank
year.
you.
And
Thank you.
please don't leave. Shout out Winnipeg Hardcore. Shout out Queen City Hardcore. Shout out Edmonton Hardcore. Shout out Okanagan Valley Hardcore. Shout out Vancouver Hardcore. Shout out Vancouver Island Hardcore. And shout out Calgary Hardcore, of course.
Saskatoon hardcore too.
Saskatoon Hardcore. I don't think we filmed any Saskatoon bands this year, but shout out to them if there's anyone out there listening.
Frozen.
Frozen? No, they're from
Regina.
Regina. Yeah. Thank you again for checking out the podcast. We're going to be going hard in 2020 with tons more interviews. I want to do more stuff like this with the guys where we look at sets, talk about things that are going on in hardcore. So if you liked this, definitely let me know. Comments, DMs, whatever you want. Hope your 2019 wrapped up nicely and excited for 2020 for us.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Deuces.
Yeah, happy New
Catch you
Year.
next time.
Peace out.